Okay, good morning everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna do this and come right back to you in just a slither of a moment. Thanks for being patient. Wow. Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson,
hey Dax,
let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today.
Wanted to touch base with you, so.
Okay, so let's just go on now.
All right.
Alrighty, we are back, and yes, the problem needs to be fixed. It's fixed. It seems like it's fixed, so I'll just bring Dax in, who is here with us for just a slither of a moment. Hey Dax, I'll just ask you some quick questions, and then I know you gotta run. Alright, welcome to the program. Thanks for all of you who were waiting and wondering what's going on here. You could have seen me, but I wasn't panicking. I'm very calm these days, you know. I think I'm getting older and wiser. Older, wiser, and calmer. Okay, so no panic, you know. Pastor Black would just guide me through, and everything seems to be okay now. Alright, Dax, I wanted to kind of ask you about this, because everyone is talking about coconut water and what coconut is so good for, and they're putting it in every face wash and every bath gel and everything. I go in the store and people, I'm going, where can I get some coconut water to drink, please? Help me. Where are you disappearing to? You're going too low down. You're losing your head. There you go, right there. So tell me, can you help us with this at all?
Yes.
Please, let me hear about this coconut water thing. I'm serious.
All right, so coconut is nothing new. We use it to clean the floor.
Oh Jesus!
Cook rice and peas. Drink the water when we're thirsty.
Yes.
It is well established as a very useful product.
Yes, right? But when I go to, I can't get it because the little flea market that I used to drive to in Margate, they're gone. Where do I get my coconut water?
Well, you can get it. You'll get it, but here's what's happening.
Okay, tell me.
A company a couple years ago came up with a way to bottle the coconut water or put it in a package.
Right.
And Vita Coco and they have now gone ahead and are marketing and created a whole industry about coconut.
But it doesn't taste good in the box.
Not only doesn't it taste good, it is not the same thing as the fresh product. And, you know, is it better than a soda? Yes. But is it as good as buying it and drinking it straight out of the shell? Absolutely not. So, you know, this is the process that we as individuals need to work through and really find out. Because what you get now is a lot of studies and a lot of, new research. 99% of the research is developed simply for the process of selling the products.
Oh, that's the trick. Okay, I got it. I got it now. I got it. Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Find the fruit, buy it, cut it, drink it. If you open it up, use the meat. If you can get coconut oil for cooking, that's nothing wrong with that. That's a good, source of healthy fats. But definitely don't get caught up in the craze about coconut. In any processed form, you're not getting the nutrient value that you should be getting had you been able to use. The oil is fine,
right?
But the drink and the fruit, you need to eat it in its natural
form. Okay, I thought so. My special guest, it's Wednesday, so it's Wellness Wednesday. Actually, it's we have next week is Thanksgiving. Wow, next week, Thursday is Thanksgiving. So, okay, I want to ask you about this now. If someone decides to eat just one thing, like this guy that ate the Subway sandwich every day and ate nothing else, and he lost all this weight and he became wealthy from being the pitch man for Subway sandwiches. What if someone decides, okay, I like ice cream, so I'm going to just eat ice cream and nothing else? Is that crazy? Or because I'm trying to figure this whole Subway sandwich thing out. Because it's bread, the meat is not, to me, don't seem like it's real meat. They say it is, but it just seems like it's not the same kind of meat as if when I cook it at home. So how do we process that?
That guy's name is Jared.
Yes, Jared, yes.
Jared worked with Subway. I don't know the facts about his case or anything, but I can tell you this. The Subway that Jared at and the Subway that we will see now are two completely different products. So the breads are a lot more processed today than they were originally. Even on the meats. I went to Subway because they had this avocado sandwich.
Yes.
It looked so delicious on TV.
Exactly.
The lady was squeezing the avocado out of a plastic package, and it certainly was not the same thing. If you take a pear and you cut it, within a half an hour it starts turning brown, right? Well, likewise, this didn't turn brown. It was as green as ever, and it didn't have the same consistency. Now, take an example for another company like Chipotle. You go to Chipotle and they have avocado, they have guacamole.
Right.
The guacamole, you can actually see the people in the back opening up the little avocados, the Hass avocados, scooping out the meat and actually preparing guacamole in real time.
Right.
That's a healthy product. So, if you're looking for fast food, I would give Chipotle the hands down one of the healthiest meals you can find. Fresh, healthy foods. I actually eat there quite often, but I don't eat the meat. Not because the meat is bad, but just I prefer to have less meat. Their meat tends to be a little bit organic, so that's good.
Okay. There's a series running now in Palm Beach called Dirty Dining. I'm sure you must have seen it in Broward. They've run it in Miami, where they go to the restaurants. And I was surprised the names of the restaurants that were coming up, on the display, like Saffron and Japanese restaurants downtown Palm Beach. And I'm going, oh my God, these people, they have been cited for dirty restaurants, and they're not telling anyone, because in New York, they have to put their grades up so the customer can see the grade. In New York, they use the ABC system and DF, whatever. But here, there's no system in Florida.
Sure.
So I watched this and I'm going, oh my God, do I need to not go to any more restaurants to eat? Or what? It's so frightening.
It is, but look, I have to leave you. But here's the simple answer to the question.
Okay.
If you prepare your own meals, you are in the best position you can be. If you pick your own fruit, that's great, but guess what? You don't have to pick it yourself. If you go to fresh, whole markets and buy whole foods, not necessarily the store whole foods, but whole foods in general, carry it home, fix it yourself, break it down. You know, garlic, I bought it in a jar the other day. I can't eat it, it's full of preservatives, but I can buy fresh garlic. I can, you know, cut it up myself, put it in my food. Ginger, I can buy whole ginger. I can cut it up. I can buy mint. I can buy all of the natural herbs, and I can prepare them myself, and that's the secret to it. Don't look for the perfect restaurant. Go once in a while when you need to, but if your digestive system is healthy, you'll be perfectly fine.
Oh, okay.
If you're looking for a restaurant to eat at every day, that's going
no.
You're going to be challenged.
Okay, one question before you go. BOL versus Garcinia.
Night and day, two different products.
I think BOL is just the champion. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Am I correct?
You're 100% correct. You know, apples to oranges. That BOL is a complete weight loss product that's supported by things like Garcinia, saffron, and the ketones. But in terms of, you know, unique supplements that on their own have great value, Garcinia is one of the great ones, saffron, ketones, but BOL is a nice mix that we spent years researching and developing, and that definitely is a star.
Okay, well, I give the star to Rad Wellness for BOL, because I think even after you stop taking it, it's still working as opposed to everything else. That's just my opinion. Maybe my body is different, but you know, I need me some BOL.
Don't worry.
For the holiday. All right. Okay. Okay, Dax. I know you gotta go, but thanks for all of this. So we can't even talk about the turkey. Oh my God, that's terrible.
We went to talk Thursday before Thanksgiving. We'll talk Wednesday.
Okay. Yes, that's right. We have one day before Thanksgiving, so we'll do it next week.
All yours.
I do not have anything to do next week, Wednesday.
All yours.
All right. I have something to talk to you about, but we have to do that off camera. All right.
No.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dax. Okay, that was my good friend Dax Dunn joining me here inside of Wellness Wednesday. He has to run, and of course, you know, we had some technical difficulties prior to, but I'll just continue to go down the line of what's happening in the news today. Lots of things are happening. We hear of the oh my goodness, the stabbing of the father yesterday in Virginia. It seems like now with stories coming out that he was almost governor of Virginia, lost to McDonald, and then it seems like his son and himself had something going on, and the son died, and he is in the hospital fighting for life. Wow, we have gotten so violent as a society, as a people. Just wondering. And then we see Republican Congressman Mr. Tony Riddell. What's his story? Now he is having his own issues. He's a Florida congressman, Mr. Conservative, who went to Washington to block everything and, you know, kill President Obama if he could and all that kind of stuff. But he has his own skeletons in his closet. And what are they? He's a coke addict, it seems. So he was arrested. This was in October, but we didn't hear. Some Politico done broke the news. Yeah. See, you gotta always depend on our news people to get the real juice on these things. This guy acting like he's Mr. Perfect, and he is buying cocaine and taking cocaine and talking about now he's apologizing. So what's his sentence? 1 year probation? Huh. And he's in a treatment center in where? Nice Naples? Wow. How so, Mr. Riddell? These guys, they just continue. And you know, Mr. Ford, Rob Ford in Toronto, Canada, please, someone needs to just take him away from the cameras. Seriously? Because he's embarrassing not just himself, He's embarrassing Canada, it seems. The Canadians look like they're kind of going, no, 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 this is too much. We need to just get him off the front page for a while. Now I gather he's doing his own TV show, himself and his brother. Wow. Is politics just gone haywire? Or all the good guys are just retired? And the guy that we thought was so good, President Obama, everybody's giving him such a hard time that, you know, I don't know. If I were in his shoes, I don't know. How would I feel right now? How would you feel if you were President Barack Hussein Obama right now? With everything you try to do for the country, for the people, it is blocked by Speaker Boehner and his Tea Party caucus that is running things. And then you have him being fought in the Senate by the likes of Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell. How do you, as a president, survive? Every judge you appoint, they block them. Head of Homeland Security, they want to block that too. They want to block Yellen too. It's the Republican Party that is in charge and in Congress. Are they truly understanding what they're doing to the people? Forget about Obama. I keep telling you guys, Obama's life is set. So why do you guys keep killing the people while you're trying to kill Barack Obama? It's not working. When do we stop? When are well, they're not working for the rest of the year, basically, so I don't think they can do just about anything. They're already announced that immigration is off the table, this is off the table, oh, you know, they're taking this time off and that time off, and of course, you know, next week, Thanksgiving, then you're going to see them in December sometime, and then Christmas, they're gone again. Is there something that can make these Republicans in Congress actually do something for the people of the United States of America? Without calling them smoochers and poor and immigrants and blacks and Hispanics and all of that? Is there anyone that can get them to do this? Is there any kabuki we can work on Speaker Boehner to let him decide to put things for a vote in the House of Representatives? Oh my. We just can't seem to get beyond the roadblock. When do we change? How do we change? What do we need to do as a people to change? George Zimmerman? Oh, $9,000 bail? Well, we gather he probably only came up with $900 because you got to come up with 10% of the whatever the bail is. So now he's wearing an ankle bracelet. And we truly know who he is now. At least the white people do. Because Geraldo Rivera is calling him now a psychopath. And before he was God's gift to the world because Trayvon Martin might have been just looking a little suspect because he's black and he's wearing a hoodie. So all the Fox people now are kind of silent. I think only Geraldo had the bravery to speak and call him a psychopath. Oh yeah, and he's also blocked from going anywhere near Samantha, whether email, text, in person, via any means necessary, Skype. The judge just kept on reading them out, going and going and going. So what do you make of this? And the brother can't no longer have no guns or be near any guns. What is he going to do now? I told you, I predicted it on this show. George Zimmerman is going to end up just like O.J. Simpson. Yeah? You don't catch him for this, but he's going to be caught for that. Because karma is a bitch. And also, God is a God of justice. And yea, you might feel like your life has ended and oh my God, what happened in the justice for Trayvon Martin? Don't worry. Zimmerman's day is coming sooner than you think. What is this, the fourth time that he's been in some kind of problems with the police? And the times and the things are just going to escalate. Oh, so he's broke and he's in debt over $2 million. Yeah? Wow. Mr. George Zimmerman of Florida, the stand your ground guy, who killed a teenager and got away with it because he was standing his ground. But let's see how much he's standing his ground now, because the person he assaulted this time is white and female and his girlfriend. Oh, and he seemed to have a pattern with his girlfriends. Pushing and shoving, smacking faces, choking. Okay, Mr. Zimmerman, we're seeing you for who you are now, but you got away with Trayvon, you're not going to get away in the future. Justice will be served on a platter for you. We'll take a break and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana White Show live, and we thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much, Pastor Blackwood, for helping us sort out our issues here. Technical problems. We couldn't have Dax all the way, but he'll come back next week. I promise. Hello, everyone. This is a season of giving, and I'm asking you to consider one of your gifts to be Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift, as the gifting season begins to heat up. I am depending on you to do this for me. Thank you so much, and be the proud person to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website DianaWrightTV.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. All right, we are back and we are live, and this is the Diana White Show live. I see the president as I'm monitoring my other monitor. I see he's giving out those, I think it's Medal of Honors that he's giving out today. So we're just going to continue here going down the list of things that we need to be thinking about today or talking about at the water cooler or at the dinner table. Charlie Crist is running for governor of Florida again. I don't know why he gave that position up to run for the Senate. He should have just stayed, because he would have won again, because even if you're not Republican at the time when he was a Republican, he was a moderate guy, pretty decent guy. Then he got kicked, I guess, by the Republicans because he was nice to President Barack Obama, who came to Florida, and he was nice to him. And then he decided to be an independent, and now, well, he ran for the Senate as an independent and he lost. To who more so than Marco Rubio? Can you tell me that Charlie Crist would be doing a much better job of not blocking but being more inclusive and moderate? But moderate, you see, is a dirty word in the horizon of Republicans. They don't like that word. You're either conservative, extremely conservative, or you're not a good Republican. Remember Chris Christie? Oh, he's a moderate, so he's no good. But Charlie Crist is running for governor again. He's at the moment, even though we are, a good ways away, a year out, he is leading in the polls and has been since he announced. Yeah, there are some people running some ads about the fact that, he flip-flopped because he was a Republican, then he was an independent, then he's now a Democrat. But he didn't just walk away from the Republican Party. They kind of didn't want him any longer because he liked Obama. And he accepted the things that he thought was good for the people of the state he was representing as governor. So Charlie Crist is running again, leading in the polls, and Rick Scott, the present governor, he is the lowest in the polls anywhere in the country as a governor, and he's planning to spend $100 million of his own money, mark you, because remember, he's rich, because he was the one who kind of ripped off Medicare to the tune of like $300 million or something like that. And, trying to get his cronies to set up a company that would be testing all the people before they get their benefits. All the poor people. And then his sidekick, she had to resign because of some thing that she was involved with in terms of veterans. Okay. So we'll see who rides the wave. Now, Charlie Crist is trying to raise money because he doesn't have $100 million to spend out of his pocket on a governor's race. Is any race for governor worth $100 million? I wonder if Governor Scott actually know how much good he could do with that $100 million right here in Florida for some people who are sleeping in their cars and people who have no food and no clothes and nowhere to live, period. I wonder if he knows how much good he could do with that $100 million. So, we are going to watch to see what happens to this governor's race. I gather it's going to be the most expensive governor's race in the country. Because you see, I am positive that if Governor Crist was still the governor of Florida, he would have taken that money for the bullet train. And Florida needs it. He would have taken and expanded Medicaid. He would have also set up an exchange in Florida. And I bet he would not be blocking those navigators that can explain the Affordable Care Act to people. I bet you he would. So, Floridians, you have been losing a lot because of this governor. Oh, he travels a lot around the world talking about he's selling Florida. Florida doesn't need to be sold. Everybody in the world knows that Florida has beautiful sand and beaches and lovely hotels and wonderful people who are kind of cold sometimes. Yeah? Everybody knows that. So I'm not quite sure what he's selling every moment he's gone. But I have a feeling that he's going to be turning and doing some things that he thinks will get people to vote for him before 2014 comes. But don't be fooled. Don't be sucked in. You just need to watch these politicians when they continue to lie and apologize. Lie, apologize. We forgive. But I'm not so sure anyone is willing to forgive Rick Scott for what he's done in Florida. So let's watch this race really, 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 really close. Yes. All right. I had some other questions that I wanted to ask Dax, but I'll just have to save them for next week. And I'm going to remind you of this saying because so many people I'm talking to are just depressed, going through a hard time, not coping, not being able to pay their bills. We just need to think of this. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And also, whatever the crisis that you're going through today, and we all are in it. Each and every one of us, we have our different crises. So what am I asking you to do today? As T.D. Jakes would have you know, the water is shallow. All you need to do is stand in the water. Don't allow yourself to drown in shallow waters. Because as he said, when you're closest to the shore is when things just seem impossible. But if we truly need to believe the Bible and trust the Bible, it says all things are possible when you believe, when you have God and His Son Jesus. So we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live, and we thank you so much for joining us today. And, you know, just bearing with us through our little technical snafu. Hello, everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show. Sponsor the Diana Wright Show or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana Wright Show. Advertise with us and sponsor the Diana Wright Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Okay, welcome back. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. And we are just kind of going back into the feud. Was it the Cheney family feud? Maybe they could just have their own game show and call it Cheney Feud. Okay, so Liz and Mary, and Mary's partner, or Mary's wife, I should say, they're married. Now, former Senator Alan Simpson, who is a friend of the Cheneys, he got into a fight with Mrs. Cheney about the fact that he's supporting the guy that's running against their daughter Liz Cheney for the Senate seat in Wyoming. Oh, are you confused already? So, former Senator Alan Simpson, you know, part of the Simpson-Bowles team, he lashed out at Wyoming Senate candidate Liz Cheney on Monday, accusing her of destructive behavior toward her own family. I told you about these politicians. Now, Liz Cheney is really willing to send her only sister up the creek because she wants to be a senator so bad. So my sister is gay, and I went to her wedding, and I told them I'm so happy for them. I go to their house, I visit them, I have dinner there, I play with their children and all that kind of good stuff. But then I go on Fox and I say, oh no, I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, and my sister and I just don't agree. And then my father, Dick Cheney, oh, he comes in and he writes his little thing and says, oh, Liz has always been like that, supportive of her sister, but they differ in their opinions on marriage. She's always believed that marriage is between a man and a woman. Now, who do we believe? Who do we trust? So here goes Senator Alan Simpson. You're not even destroying friendships. You're destroying family relationships just because of this race, he says. It's hard for all of us who know the Cheneys to see the things she's doing to win this race. But isn't it your dad that really wants her to win the race, I gather? It's almost like, I will do anything to win this race, Senator Simpson says, because I cannot ever believe that there would be a breach between she and Mary. Simpson, who is backing the incumbent, Senator Mike Enzi, who is a Republican candidate from Wyoming, in his 24 battle against Cheney, was reacting to a tense exchange over the weekend between Liz, of course, her openly gay sister Mary, and Mary's wife, Heather Poe. Of course, you know, that played out on Fox News Sunday. Liz Cheney was clearly asked to clarify her position on gay marriage. Now, if you know you have a gay sister that's married and you've been there, you support them, you tell them you love them and all those good things, would you say this? She said that she was a believer in traditional marriage and did not support amending the Constitution in favor of same-sex couples. So that simply means to me that Liz Cheney does not want her sister Mary to have any benefits at all. You should be over there and I'm over here because I am a true conservative, and you know, And some of these conservative guys, they're on cocaine, they do drugs, they have prostitutes, they they can't keep a marriage, they're married 2 and 3 times. Shall I keep going and going and going for these religious, conservative, extremely conservative people? Because you see, we're not perfect by no means. None of us are perfect. We strive for perfection, and we should, but we never seem to get there. So you don't try to be and act like you're perfect. What you should strive for is to be having great expectation and just do it exceptionally well, whatever you do. But perfection is kind of difficult to get to. Was Jesus perfect? I don't think he would tell you that he was. So why should man believe that they can be perfect, yet they're doing all those other things behind the scenes that would make your blood boil? Like Mr. Raydell, who is a coke smoking kind of guy, Republican from Florida, now on his 1-year probation and in the nice place called Naples for rehabilitation. Let's strive to be exceptional. Yeah? That is a more achievable goal, I think. So all you Republicans who are acting like you're so perfect and you so want to fix Obamacare. Oh no. And we should stop calling it Obamacare. It is indeed the Affordable Care Act. You notice the president spoke yesterday and he never even mentioned the word Obamacare. He just spoke about health care. And the morality of trying to help 40 million Americans have, for the first time, health insurance. And there are some middle-class families who are buying on the open market. They need help too, because they need to get rid of the junk policies that they have and buy into the Affordable Care Act. And oh, if the insurance companies could be stop being so self-righteous and just help the president get this thing going, because the money to be made is the insurance companies that will make the money. They want to make the money, but they don't want to do anything. Just like when you pay your premium every month and you have a problem, oh my God, they will do everything to make you not get any money. It doesn't matter what kind of insurance, what kind of claim you're making, it's the same deal. You crash your car, they don't want to give you a new car. They want to give you the minimum amount that your car is valued. If you have a house, you have a problem, they don't want to fix it. Oh, they don't fix roofs, and they don't do this, and they don't do that. So all insurance companies seem to want to do is collect money. So they are vested in this thing with the president. They need to help promote this healthcare thing, this Affordable Care Act, to young people, to let young people understand that they're not invincible. And if they want my help, I will give it, because I can speak from experience of what happened to my nice young 13-year-old who went to the hospital healthy, left in a wheelchair without senses. But God. So they want me to speak? Come on, get me to speak. Because I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from osmosis. 45 days in the hospital and they come and they say, oh, your insurance, which is private, only lasted for 45 days in the bed. So what shall I do now? Are you going to throw me out in the street? It's all documented in my book. I told the truth. I spoke it. My truth. Always speak your truth. So I see that Senator Elizabeth Warren is about to give them hell. Oh, I love that lady. Never met her, but I saw her on a program that was carried on Wealth TV about the addiction to money, addicted to money, and all the scandal of where everything started in Iceland and the way Wall Street has gotten away with it. But now we see that JP Morgan is actually going to be paying a fine of $13 billion. Wow. JP Morgan Chase is really, really rich. Mr. Jamie Dimon, the smartest guy in the room all the time, I'm told. He looks good. They say he's the smartest guy in the room. Never met him. Would love to meet him to understand why they had all those derivatives and all those things, those ridiculous loans that they gave to people. All in the game of, you know, just getting rich and rich and richer. How does that work? While the poor just seems to be getting poorer and poorer and poorer in this country. And then the Republicans act as if those people are worthless. Those people are not worthless. A lot of those people are actually running 2 jobs that pay them $7.25 an hour each. So they work at Burger King and they work at Walmart, or they work at somewhere else and they work at Walmart, or they work at, you know, some other restaurant. Wow. And those are the people that we think should not even have a refrigerator, says Mr. Fox. Sean Hannity? Is this the way we're going to continue to be down on people? How do we expect them to even come above if we keep pushing their heads in the hole? How do we expect them to come up? Is it that we want the poor to stay poor? I kind of understand that, because Jesus always in the Bible tells you to take care of the poor. So that means the assumption is that there will always be poor people, but we don't have to try to kill them in the meantime and let them lose all their self-respect and their honor in the process. Because you do have some poor people, you know, who are extremely happy and content with their situation. You just travel around the world and see some of these people. They're as happy as a lark. And they are not willing or not even interested in being wealthy. So there are indeed some happy poor people. So we should not just brush all poor people with our one brush, and all immigrants with our one brush. All immigrants are, you know, coming to rob you in New York in your palaces. Not all immigrants are bad. Not all black people are bad. Not all white people are bad. And not all white people are good. And not all black people are good. And not all immigrants are good. Some poor people are bad and some of them are good. So why don't we just find the good in people and stop dumbing down people every single day as we go about our business? Republicans seem to despise anyone who is not wealthy, because they believe that you must have done something wrong. Why you can't succeed? What do you mean, why you can't succeed? Do you know that some people are born with the cards just stacked up against them based on who they're born to? And the cycle of some teenage pregnancy just continuing in that particular family? It's not the child that is born's fault. And I want to ask the question again. All the Tea Partiers in Congress and all the Republicans around this country, do they have no poor people in their families? They have no one in their family that's struggling, that is on food stamp SNAP, that is on Medicaid, that is on Medicare, that gets Social Security, and that who will benefit from Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act? Please let me know. I want to know. It's important to know. And I must take a break and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter. And join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook. And follow me on Twitter. Hello to all my viewers. How are you? This is Diana Wright introducing you to my new book, Deadly Negligence, A True Story. It chronicles an astounding account of the magic of a mother's love, the power of divine miracles, and of course, Deadly Negligence will give you hope and inspiration, helping you get through anything that life throws your way. Get your copy today on Amazon.com. Thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful, blessed day. Okay, we are back and yes, telling you about my book, Deadly Negligence, and I know that it will make a great gift for the holiday season for someone in your life. And even if they're going through a really bad struggle, crisis, whatever it is, this book, after they read it, they will know for sure that there is indeed something called hope. And there is a God who works miracles. So Senator Elizabeth Warren is now saying that Social Security benefits, instead of reducing them, rejecting calls from those in both parties to cut payments as a way to trim government spending. She thinks they should be increased. She argued that rather than switch to a chained consumer price index that cuts retiree benefits, the nation should adopt CPI-E, which measures the actual cost of living for the elderly and would raise benefits to meet actual needs. Because you know, the people, our parents who are on Social Security, the CPI, that cost of living that they give them, are they thinking that the food has gone up? Lots of them who have to pay rent or mortgages or whatever they do, and their light bill and their cable bill and their water bills, those things keep going up. And the little money they get for Social Security just won't cut it. So here comes Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. Chained CPI assumes that when prices rise, people switch to cheaper products. No, they don't. If your parent is on Social Security, you're going to want them to buy a cheaper brand of food because of chained CPI? Proponents say the inflation measure should be reduced to account for that, meaning the government could pay people smaller cost of living adjustments. And when they give you that cost of living adjustment, you know, it's like $10. What do they think that can really do in this economy? But Warren blasted that approach in a Senate floor speech this week, on Monday to be exact, saying that retirement security has become a crisis in America, in which 2/3 of seniors depend on Social Security for the majority of their income. Are you one of those children out there that your mother or your father is dependent on that Social Security check? Is there anyone in the Tea Party or in the Republican Party and some of those weakling Democrats who don't understand that their parents are living basically off of their Social Security income? They're dependent on this. So when you try to do the Paul Ryan thing, where he's trying to act like he's not going to dismantle Social Security, and he comes up with some quirky words to tell you and act as if it's not so and it is so, again, lying politicians like Paul Ryan. Change CPI falls short of the actual increases in costs that seniors face, pure and simple, she said. Change CPI, it's just a fancy way of saying cut benefits. So when you hear Paul Ryan talking about change CPI, that's what it means. Cut senior benefits. So all those seniors who decided to go out and vote for Mitt Romney, might as well, you know, that your benefits would have been cut by now. So if that's what you want, vote Republican. But if you want the Democrats to fight for you, you need to vote for a Democrat. And all you independents out there that are always swaying the vote, and all you uninformed voters who wait for the last minute to make up your mind who you're going to vote for, do you even understand how important it is to vote? Or do a protest thing and nobody votes? Do you know how important that really is? The power of your vote. Senator Warren took special exception to a Washington Post editorial that called expanding Social Security wrong-headed and suggested the nation should instead be more concerned about the percentage of children living in poverty. So the person who is saying that in the Washington Post editorial, I put this to you. Are you thinking that those children who are growing up in poverty might just be having some poor parents? And they need to be helped? And some of them are actually on Social Security, because a lot of those young people who are having babies are leaving them, and the grandparents who are on Social Security are taking in those grandchildren and trying to raise them themselves. So who do you think is paying for them? Mr. Take care and concerned about the children living in poverty? We have to take care of the root of the problem. We need to get these young people in school doing something, not necessarily, going to be a lawyer, a doctor, or Indian chief, or an actuary, or an engineer. But we need to get these young people who they're good with their hands. They can sew clothes, or they can weld something, or there has to be jobs that you can do with your hands. Like now they have these fancy shows on TV, Runaway, Project Runaway, and all this kind of stuff, so everybody now believes they can be a designer. You have to have the skill in your fingers to become a designer, because you have to know the basics about designing a dress or a pants. You have to be able to make patterns. And most people like Coco Chanel, she was born with that God-given talent. She could sew, she could make her own clothes, she could do all those things. She didn't just say, oh, I want to be a designer. What is your skill that God gave you? You need to tap into it and let it work for you. Enable yourself to do some good and not be like the young people that they're talking about in the articles that were online a couple weeks ago. They have just kind of copped out of the system. They don't work, they don't go to school, they do nothing. How can you live and not do anything? when other people are out there busting their butts. And that's the reason I never envy a rich person for being wealthy. Wonderful. I appreciate you for being wealthy. But in the same breath, all you wealthy people in Congress, from Speaker Boehner on down and the Tea Partiers in Congress, don't try to be down on the people because they're poor. They need encouragement. They need jobs, something that Congress is not addressing at all. Can we fix the infrastructure, the bridges and all the, all the electrical grids and all those things that need to be fixed? I see right here in Palm Beach County, the bridge on the island of Palm Beach went up. It opened and could not close. I wonder what could cause that. Maybe it just needed some maintenance, probably. And all the governors like Rick Scott that are cutting education, don't they understand that the basic that people need is a high school diploma? Not everybody has to go to college and become doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs and actuaries and, nurses and all those things. There are other professions that you can actually work with your hands. And if you want to be a designer, you need to learn the basics. If you weren't born with the gift, yes, you can learn. I did sewing in school and I was very good at it. Now you see that George W. Bush, our past president, he is a painter. So you can realize another profession in your older age. But they showed the picture that he painted of Jay Leno and he signed the back. It almost looks like Jay Leno, for real. So now we realize that President George W., even though he was a C student in school his entire life, especially in college, he told the story. We realize now he's a painter. So it's never too late for you to discover who you are, what you want to be in your life. He said, you might not think I'm a painter, but I know and think I'm a painter. And his work proved that he's a painter. Congratulations, George W. Even though he had his problems with the Jews last week, where he was speaking at a Messianic Jew thing that, those people there trying to get Jews to be Christians. And the Jewish community were mad with George W. President Bush was not their favorite guy last weekend to be exact. So it's never too late. I told you the story of my mom, who is now a great painter in her years, golden years. Yeah. So please, never give up on yourself. Never give up on your children, no matter their struggles. I can tell you about that because my daughter went to death's door, not because of illness, but because of someone else's negligence. And when I think back, I should have just killed the nurse right there. I should have just grabbed her hand, choke her, or do something and put her on the bed. But then I would be probably in jail because I would be charged with assault. So you gotta think. You gotta use your brain. You gotta trust God. You gotta pray because sometimes you feel like your prayers are not being answered. But you cannot allow yourself to drown in shallow waters. Now everybody tells you that, if you visualize what you want to be and where you want to be and all that good stuff, use your imagination. I have wild imagination. I can really see things. I see myself living in France on a wonderful farm, looking like the picture that I have in my house. Yes, I see that. But did anyone tell you there's going to be hell in the hallway to get there? But you can't lose sight of your dream or what you want to achieve, can you? And with that pep talk, I say thank you for joining me today. My name is Diana Wright, which I suspect you know by now. Have yourself a blessed day, and if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. The magic words. It's only 3. I love me. And then Dax will be with me next Wednesday to talk all about Thanksgiving. We need some BOL. I need some BOL to keep me from overeating over the holiday. So, just have yourselves a blessed day, and please be kind to someone else. Be good to someone else. Show someone some love today. It's important. Teach them to love themselves, and you would have done some good. Again, have a blessed day, and thanks for joining me.